Hi, Hamish Conway here, and welcome to another episode of TACOS Tuesday. And this is the place where we give you the best Amazon advertising tactics and strategies. And again, with me today is, in fact, Sebastian Hargraves. You might not recognize him, but it is him. I promise you. Welcome, Seb.
Yeah, it's the lean, mean version of me with my haircut. So if the click-through rates and views go down, then I'll take that as an indicator you guys don't like my haircut.
That's right. At least the caption has still got your old haircut, so that's fine. We'll be all right. Yeah, excellent. Anyway, he's been really conscious of that today. But as you get this episode, Black Friday will have kicked off, and it's going to be fascinating to see how it goes. And last week I was in Sydney and in around Sydney on Saturday, and the retail shops were going crazy. So I just had this kind of got a feeling. I think this Black Friday could be pretty big. And just with the way people are ready to treat themselves. And so kind of linked, but not linked in a way. But what we're going to cover off today, just a short episode because everyone's kind of busy in the season. We're going to focus in on the stages of a product launch, okay? Giving you examples of 3 and tracking it over 12 months, what to expect and why we're doing this and what you're going to get from it is you're going to see some benchmarks of what you could expect at the various stages, months 1 to 2, months 3 through 6, and then the second half of the year. I think I've got that right there. And then, because why is this important? Because we do these launches and we might think this is not going very well, and then we try and change things too quickly, not giving them a chance to actually bed in and get the benefit. And look, selling on Amazon is not just a license to print money out of the gate. It happens on occasion, but that is the exception rather than the rule. And look, if you've got existing products on there and you go, right, we've got some new product development, we're going to add it in. This here is going to give you some context around what you could expect and how long it's going to take to hit the sales numbers that you want. And what are some of the key metric kind of bands that you can benchmark your performance against to give you confidence that, hey, look, we're actually doing pretty well here. Or this is not going well, we're going to need to do something. There's something else wrong here that we need to address. Okay, so even though I know a lot of people listening, we are going to share screen, but there's not that many numbers there, and we'll just talk to those numbers. And if you did want to go back and have a look, I might even make it as a PDF in this one here that you could grab. Okay, so Seb, as I'm just bringing this up, is there any other context you want to give in terms of what we're going to cover?
Yeah, so one thing that you should note is what we're sharing today will be based on this specific category and price point. So yours will vary slightly in regards to if you've got a more expensive product, etc. There will be differences, but this will still give you some directional guidance.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so let's talk about the first phase in the product launch life cycle. We're talking in the first 2 months. What can we expect to happen?
Yep, so what you're looking at here is real data. And what we've got here is your total advertising cost of sale, your ACOS or your advertising cost of sale, your conversion rate, and a rough gauge on total sales in these 3 product launches.
And so you're going to have advertising conversion rate, to be clear.
Yep. So you're going to have a heavy dependence on ads, as you can see, with a total advertising cost of sale of in this piece, we had as high as 120% and as low as 60%, and then we had a medium of 80%. Now, 120% means your ad spend's actually exceeding revenue numbers. And so that would be definitely on the more aggressive side versus the 60%. 80% is the medium. And that's probably what you could expect out of the gate for month 1 and 2. So you're going to have limited organic traction. Most of your ads, most of your sales are coming from your ads. And basically you're using this as a testing phase, but also as a phase to bring in more reviews. So if you're more on the aggressive side, you're going to be acquiring those reviews more quickly. If you're on the kind of the lower end of that spectrum, it's going to take you longer. So that's why it's months 1 and 2, because sometimes people go more aggressive out of the gate with month 1. And so they basically speed up this process by doing that.
Yeah. And to be clear, look, these products here, so this is Australia that we're looking at, and so the volumes are reasonably different. But the fact is you've got to be prepared to invest in advertising. If you don't, then this doesn't even apply. It will sit there idle, a product, for a long time. So ads is absolutely critical in this early stage. I mean, here they're investing circa $5,000 a month per product. On average. So that gives you a bit of an indication, gives you some runway to be testing, and because their ad spend is inefficient in the beginning. Okay. Then there's the ACOS side of things. Do you want to cover off on ACOS and conversion rate, total sales as well?
Yep. I mean, so I kind of touched on some of those, but I mean, ACOS obviously quite high. We're not as concerned about the ACOS part because what we want to see is that we're getting traction on the organic. So TACOS is more important for us out of this stage. And then you'll see the conversion rate is quite low. And particularly when you compare it, well, sorry, that's actually a good conversion rate, particularly coming out of like straight out of the gate. But you can see in comparative to the 3 to 6 month range and the 6+ month range, it's much, much lower, which is, going to be affecting performance there as well.
Yeah. And then, so that, and this was all leading to, on average, around $5,000 in sales a month on these particular products. And look, don't get too caught up in the actual volume of these numbers. It's more to see the transition from through the 3 stages and just the direction that numbers move. Okay, so this is really months 1 to 2. You've got to hold your nerve through this period, and this is where we do sometimes see people going, this is not going fast enough, this is not working, and wanting to change things and not holding the path. And that there, as you'll see as we go through, could be a mistake, or they just stop spending any money because they don't think it's worthwhile. Stage 2.
Yep. So stage 2. So it's worth noting through these product launches, there was no tweaks made to any of the content. And so the images weren't updated, the title and the bullets and everything weren't updated. And the reason I say that is to say that this conversion rate improvement is purely based on reviews plus the optimization of your advertising that had generated that. There wasn't a content piece that did it. It was outside of that. So month 3 to 6, you can see that the TACOS significantly improves. Like, that's a huge increase. And this is a pretty good indication that you've got a good product.
From 80% to 18%.
Yeah,
is where it
so that's which I would not say that's typical. I actually think that's like it did quite well into that month 3 and 6, but it does give you an indication of how much it improves if you hold your nerve, as Hamish said, in that month 1 and 2. ACOS came down significantly from 3 to 6, and the conversion rate improves, and that's really what drives it, because you can see the improvement from month 3 to 6 in conversion rate from month 1 and 2 is quite large. And then it's still improvement from the month 3 to 6 to 6 month plus, but it's just not as significant as it was from those first 2 months. And so that really gives you that indication of the listing starting to mature, the reviews are starting to accumulate. So this gives you a really good indication of how important reviews are, social proof. They become less important, and you can see that as you go up into month 6 plus, but they definitely are playing a huge role in that social proof and improving it. And amongst all of this, you're having your organic rank continue to improve as well, which is what's driven that total advertising cost to sale data. It means that ads are not having to represent as much, and organic rank is doing a lot more of the heavy lift.
Yeah. So the TACOS goes from 60 to 120%, and then in the months 3 to 6, 10 to 30. So there's a significant decrease. Conversion rate, and this is where it's getting more relevant traffic hitting the listing, went from 15% ad conversion rate to 25% ad conversion rate, which is a really good sign. And then sales as a result increasing from less than 5K a month to 8 to 15K per month in that window. So it's already a significant boost in actual sales. So then we get to 6 months, and so things are starting to trend in the right direction. But what happens in the 3rd stage in this launch life cycle?
Yeah, so this is where you start to move to that profitability piece. You can probably move a little bit earlier than this, like maybe in this particular example, you could probably move to that in month 4 or 5 because it did go so well. But in this stage 6 month and on, you're starting to really just now reap the benefits of what you've done, all the groundwork you've done in the previous months. Again, like we kind of mentioned, you'll see that TACOS is continuing to improve. 18 to 10 is still phenomenal. But now you're starting to really get to a much stronger position that you can maintain for a long period of time. Here's where you'd start to introduce like more advanced strategies where you've kind of gone, okay, I've done much of the heavy lift with my ads, and now I want to start, implementing lifetime value and all of these kind of pieces to, grow that to the next level. But all of these metrics, I think anyone would be happy with, which is an average conversion rate of 30%, a medium conversion rate of 30%, a medium ACOS of 30%, a medium TACOS or total advertising cost of 10%,
Yeah.
and a revenue range between 15 and 30K.
And this is just for one SKU.
One product. So you can imagine, this if this was time 3, this would be 90 grand. If it's at the top end, it would be 90 grand a month in revenue.
Yeah. And this is why I really like Amazon, because of the part organic plays in building this momentum. So the ad investment up front is necessary, but it is an investment that is going to pay off. And so it might not look good in the first 2, even 3 months, but this is when you're doing it the right way and you hold the path, then it is just giving you this lifetime value of revenue that you've built. So that, I think this here that's what I like about what we're sharing here, is it can give you that confidence when you are launching a new product to go, right, we know we need to invest and it might not look good for a start, but we're building our organic rank, and that is what is going to, give this SKU so much value and actual revenue value as we go. Seb, anything else to share on that?
Yeah, I suppose these are examples of things that have launches that have gone well. If you found that you were in month 2 or 3 and you're not seeing an improvement in your total advertising cost of sale, that's a pretty good indicator that something is wrong about the offering, or about the offer. When I say offering, I mean, it could be the SEO side, it could be the content, or the price even, or the reviews. If the reviews are bad, or if you might get 4-star review and you think you're doing fine, but if the rest of the category is at 4.5 star, that's a problem as well. So those are then times where you'd need to pivot to try and turn things around if you did see it not trending in the right direction.
Excellent. Okay, well, hopefully people have found that useful. And I think that just gives you a bit of at least the takeaway there is to go, okay, we know we've got to invest, hold the path, and you'll reap the rewards. Okay, so that's from a good one. And then if you're benchmarking and it's not going quite to plan, then there's some other layers you've got to dig into. But hopefully you found that useful. And if you've got any other questions about what you might want to do for your new product launches coming up, then do reach out to Seb at gosellglobal.com, or have a look at our website, gosellglobal.com, and you'll find on the services and advertising, you can get an audit from Seb, which I promise you will be one of the best things you do. We heard the other day that someone said they learnt more in that 1 hour of Seb going through the report than they had in the previous year around advertising. So it is a valuable thing. So anyway, thanks so much. And as you're listening to this, I hope you're smashing it through Black Friday and the run-in through to Christmas. So thank you, Seb, and appreciate it. And thanks everyone for listening. All the best.